So one message that had truly just blessed me and touched my heart that I heard about, I say about a month or two ago, was talking about maturity and growing up, in your walk with God and not allowing just the past and petty stuff just hinder your walk. Because I think sometimes we think that when we come to God that it's just we could just be ourselves and we don't have to change anything. We don't have to do nothing because God do love us and we don't have to do anything. But when you start to really talk about God's love, it's not like our love, like how we define love in our culture. But God's love truly do changes you. And when you're in a relationship with someone, the more I be with this person, I learn more about them. That I try not to do anything to offend them or to tear their relationship apart. So that means I have to grow up, I have to mature. And I think this is important if well, it's important information, yes, but it's important conversation that each person that says that they believe in God, that they actually are a believer, of Christ, and they actually trying to walk out this Christian walk, this Christian faith, is that there are areas in our lives that we should just go and confront and make sure that we are not walking in immaturity, that we are not bringing in these old things into, our present. And, when I say about old things, like if I know I have gave my life over to God and that I decided to repent from my old ways, I'm changing my lifestyle, then I should not have no any association with that old life. And that means that the way I did things in the past is the way I'm not going to do things today, just in my present, walk with God. And that is, something that I have been thinking about recently, especially some past situations that I find myself in, because I'm the type of person that I can easily react to things. Sometimes I don't do that because it's just, trying to learn how to have patience and have some self control. But I know there are times where I have allowed people to get to me and I allow myself to just say the wrong thing or even think the wrong thing. And I'm learning that, hey, there are some situations and some arguments, some conversations that I don't need to engage in. I don't need to be the petty person. I don't need to try to just stay in this spirit of anger and just stay in that space and trying to get back at somebody. But I had to learn how to control that and I had to learn how to put those things away. If I know there's certain things that offend me, I had to learn how to confront that. I need to seek that out and I need to put that in the grave. Because if my old self have died when Christ had died for us, he already nailed my sins to the cross, my old self is dead, then I should not bring those things back to life. And it's just really learning how to tell yourself no. And I say that, learning how to tell your flesh no. You don't have to get involved in everything. You don't have to say everything. You don't have to answer every text or every phone call. So when you have left a past situation or a past relationship, whatever that circumstance was, whatever that situation was that was holding you back, that you try not to have no type of communication or try not to have anything in your life that's going to remind you of what you left, because it can turn into a temptation if you keep that thing there for you to go back. So it does take maturity that you do have to grow up and not allow yourself to fall back in the same traps that God has already saved you from. What it looks like that God has brought me out of a bad situation, a bad relationship, and I get a text from this person. And instead of me ignoring the text or even trying to go back and block that number, that I answer it because, of course, some of us feel sorry. Some of us think that, things can change, which can. But if God told me not to go back, then I'm not going back. But if you decide to answer it, decide to entertain it, and now just giving yourself room to just go back to it. And here's the thing. It doesn't mean that it's going to be like it was last time. It can be worse. And it may get to a point where you may end up losing your life or losing something else important in your life because you chose to be disobedient. So maturity is a thing. It helps you to stay on that path that you need to stay on so you're not going back to your old ways and your old life. Because we're all trying to run a race. And that race that God set before us is our responsibility to finish that thing, to endure, to just put off anything that's going to hold us back, to just put those sins off that we find ourselves trying to go back and nitpick to, put that off, put out any weight, whether it's an offense, whatever it is. Because, hey, I want everybody to make it as well. But I understand that, hey, this is my life, and I need to make sure that I'm going to make it, make sure I do what I need to do, and also be the example so others can go along as well.